Howdy friends, Cherie here, and I wanted to come on today and share with you what I am currently working on. I recently got back into crochet after not doing it for years. I learned how to do it when I was 9 years old, and I just learned some basics, and all I ever made was like blankets and scarves. And I wanted to start making wearables after I saw this designer style and make this awesome peacock dress where on the back bottom rows of it was individually made peacock feathers all out of crochet. He does amazing work. I'll leave his information in the description box below. But that inspired me to get back into crochet. Now, I'm currently working on blankets, even though I wanted to make wearables. But when I started getting back into crochet, I went on YouTube, of course, and decided, all right, let me find what tutorials and crafters and instructors I could find that could help me learn different stitches, learn how to make sure stuff is clean and neat. And of course, I have found them. TL Yarn Crafts is one of the best ones out there, and I'll leave her link to her page as well. And so I did make one wearable so far, and that was this awesome, cute little bowed ear warmer, because what's interesting is with my locks, when I have my hat on, usually the style that I have my locks in, it'll poof my hair out. So when it's really cold, my ears are exposed and they're cold. So I was like, let me look for something that I can make. And I found this, and I made a couple, 2 for myself, 1 for my husband. His doesn't have the bow, of course. But I'm also working on a temperature blanket, and that's what the main reason I wanted to come on today and share with you all. Because I have showed you pictures and little boomerang videos of it, but I wanted to go into detail of what it is exactly. And what a temperature blanket is a year-long project where you stitch 1 row for every day of the year based on the temperature. Now, I have seen where some people will do the low temperature of the day, the high temperature of the day, the average. I'm doing the high temperature of the day. I've also seen other versions where people are doing something like the weather, not just the temperature, but if it's sunny, if it's cloudy, if it's rainy, if it's foggy, and different things like that. And then I've also seen blankets where it's a mood blanket. TL Yarn Crafts, she's doing one like that. And that's Tony. And then I saw someone even do a reading one where they have their gauges based on how many pages they read that day. So with the temperature blanket, as I said, you have a template to follow. I am following Lion Brand's template. And even though I'm following their color scheme, I'm not using their brand of yarn. So I'm using Joann's Big Twist. So some of the colors are exact, some are close and similar, but it basically gives the same feel. So more or less there are 10 colors and the range is basically 10 degrees each. So below 10 is the lowest one and above 90 is the highest one. And basically every 10 degrees it goes up to the next color. So that's basically what I have been working on. And here is currently what my blanket looks like. This was yesterday. Basically what I'm doing is at the end of the day, since again, I'm working with the high temperature, at the end of the day, I check the weather to see what the high was, and I stitch my row based on the color palette. When I first decided to do this, I also had just recently learned how to do a granny square. So it hit me, I was like, oh, I can do a temperature blanket out of granny squares. And even though I'm following their color scheme, I'm not using their brand of yarn. So I'm using Joann's Big Twist. So some of the colors are exact, some are close and similar, but it basically gives the same feel. So more or less there are 10 colors and the range is basically 10 degrees each. So below 10 is the lowest one and above 90 is the highest one. And basically every 10 degrees, it goes up to the next color. So that's basically what I have been working on. And here is currently what my blanket looks like. This was yesterday. basically what I'm doing is at the end of the day, since again, I'm working with the high temperature, at the end of the day, I check the weather to see what the high was, and I stitch my row based on the color palette. When I first decided to do this, I also had just recently learned how to do a granny square. So it hit me, I was like, oh, I can do a temperature blanket out of granny squares. So I started that one as well. And with that, I actually came up with my own color scheme because I actually hadn't gotten my colors from Joann yet, and I wanted to get started. So I already had some yarn at home. So I said, I'm gonna just create my own color scheme. And that's what I did here with this. And so I'm making granny squares for that temperature blanket. I've already got most of January. I'm still working on January, and I'm going to work on January and February today and try to get caught up like I am with my blanket. But that's currently, those are my whips, which is what they call them, work in progress. You'll hear a lot of crocheters and probably knitters to say, what's your whip? What's in your whip pile? So those are my two whips. The next thing I'm going to be working on is my daughter-in-law. So this really cute eyeglass holder. It basically is about, almost like a mask, it looks like, so to speak, for the glasses to sit on, or like the face. There you go, not the mask, the face of the lid. So it's a little teddy bear. So I'm going to make that for her. And then the first project that I actually wanted to do, which I haven't gotten to yet, which is hilarious, are slipper socks. And I even got the little glue, like non-slip pads that you can make to put on the bottom of slippers like that. So those are some of the things that I'm going to be working on. And the other project that I'm going to be working on soon is a granny square shrug. It's really, really cute. You basically just make one big granny square, and then you fold it and sew a couple pieces in to make the sleeves, and then you can make a border for the collar, the front part of it. And it's really, really cute. And I'm using this gradient type yarn so that it'll have these changing colors throughout. You can also, I've seen, change the colors of your granny squares by each round. Like each section is called a round. And I recently learned from TL Yarn Crafts how to get rid of this hole. So I did it the regular way. The first way I learned was, you make a 6 chain and you make a circle out of it, and then you weave your yarn into that circle. Well, she has an awesome video on how to do what's called a magic ring. So I'm going to do my granny squares like that from now on. But I wanted to just share that with you all, and hopefully you will share with me what you're working on in the comment section. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, follow, share, all that good stuff. And if you want to support my channel and everything that I'm working on, you can screenshot or take a picture or scan, that's the word, scan the QR codes that you'll see at the end of this video. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.